Good morning, everyone. My name is Samuel A. Bassey, and I'm sending my regards from Nigeria. I would like to thank the organizers of this conference for giving me the opportunity to present a talk on how to publish your paper in international journal. And I specifically want to thank Dr. Andy for giving me this opportunity. Now, to begin with, I'd like to point out that uh, this talk assumes three things. It could be any of them anyway. The first one is that probably you've been publishing in local journals and you now want to publish in international journal. So that could be one of the reasons why you are engaging in this discussion. Two, it could be the fact that you are just maybe a young scholar. You want to try publishing in an international journal and you want to learn more. You want to be abreast with the information, what it takes to publish in international journals. Or probably you've been publishing in international journal, but you are still not sure, or you want to learn more about international publication. So any of these three categories of persons, man, you're welcome to join in this discussion. I will be running through series of things, series of points where I think is necessary for anybody who aim to publish in international journals to know. And we'll go through from the process of preparing a paper down all the way down to the process uh, of publication. So please sit down and enjoy. Okay, it's very important to note that when you are sending a paper to an international community, the reviewers will be expecting a good paper from you. And what makes a good paper? Now, every paper must have at least one clear key idea that advances knowledge. What it means is that every paper must be unique in approach or in the conclusion given. Now, so it means that if you've been publishing papers, okay, maybe from group discussion, or probably you've been searching online to get it, a particular topic, okay. Now you need to up your game to look for something unique. Is this something unique can come through? Okay, probably you've been doing a study for a while. You've read some selected number of books, and within all these books or all these literatures you've read through, there is a knowledge gap somewhere, and you intend to fill this knowledge gap. I mean, those are the kind of things that international journals look out for. They don't want overflow topics, and even if you are going to pick up on overflow topic, make sure that you are doing something unique. Okay, for instance, now one of the biggest topic that is trending is this COVID-19 situation. So many authors are trying to write on the COVID-19 situation. But what most international journals will want to look out for is not the introduction of COVID-19. Yes, a lot of persons have published what COVID-19 is, this and that and that. They want you to go fast. I mean, they want you to improve the body of knowledge as regards COVID-19 case. So it would include, okay, I want to explain the situation, or I want to explain the death case, whatever it is. There should be an additional thing. I mean, there's something that you are bringing. There's a key idea that you are bringing to advance the knowledge in 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 COVID-19 study. So that's what I mean by having a very clear idea. It's very important if you must publish in international journals. Also, I would recommend that you use a descriptive approach in writing of the paper. Why I say descriptive is because um, when you are writing, the editors would want you to explain your term in clear sense. And also the audience, when this paper is published, the audience, people that will be reading this paper, will want to understand what you're writing in full context. So you need to describe everything you're writing. You need to use clear terms. Please avoid unnecessary vocabularies. Avoid unnecessary jargons. Is like it's of no use. You need to explain your paper. At least the English must be in simple terms so that anybody who is reading it out there will be able to understand. Okay, it's not everybody that will be reading your work that is actually in your feed. Okay, so imagine if you are reading, if you're writing a paper in the area of education, and somebody in psychology or like somebody who is doing um, a work that is not related to education wants to read your paper. Okay, so you must make sure that you simplify your paper as much as possible so that anybody from other discipline can read it, understand what it is, okay, and make a meaning out of it. Now, every good paper has a structure, and the following structure seen on your screen is actually the standard structure for a scientific paper. So your paper must have an abstract, it must have an introduction, it must have the method must be clearly seen, the result must be clearly seen. You have to discuss the results and you should have a conclusion. Okay. I've seen a lot of people sending papers without abstract. I mean, you have to now reject the paper, send it back to them and tell them, please include abstract, include keywords and stuff like that. So you must understand that this is the standard. In fact, for a good researcher, you should have this at the back of your mind. You don't even need somebody telling you, oh, your paper should contain an abstract, your paper should contain an introduction, the method must be clearly stated, the result. These are things that you should have at the back of your mind. These are the ABCD of journal publications, both local and international journal. So your abstract must be concise. Your abstract, a standard abstract in most journal should not be more than 250 words, okay? And the abstract must contain the brief introduction, the method which you're using to carry up carry out the research, the results, and the conclusion. Those are the key elements of an abstract. You should understand that your writing an abstract is very important because an abstract is like the window of the paper. So sometimes when I'm reviewing, you know, for a journal with the abstract, I will know if it is going to be a very good paper or not. That's why I say that abstract is like a window of a paper. Okay, so you must craft your abstract carefully. If you're a young researcher or somebody is not very good at writing abstract, you could go online, read about abstract writing, read about what makes a good abstract. You could also send your paper out to your friends or I mean, I mean people who are your seniors, so that they can actually look at your work, at least then vet your abstract. Okay, so it's important to know that you need to search for a good journal where you publish your already written paper, or possibly maybe you've not written the paper, you want to search for the journal first. You can use any of these three approach that is displayed on your screen. You can use a Google search, okay, to search for the journal in a particular area. Okay, that's the area in which the paper you're about to write or the paper you've written falls. You can use the Scopus database search. You can go on scopus.com. Okay, you see there on the top left side, you see there is written sources. If you click on it, it will display uh, all the journals on Scopus database. So you just type in either the name of the journal or you type in the journal, um, the area where you want to publish it. It will give you list of journals on Scopus database. This will actually help you in getting good international journals. You can also use Web of Science master list. Okay, same thing. You can go to the Web of Science website. Then also search for journal just the same way you do on Scopus, or probably a friend or a senior colleague have actually recommended a journal to you. Okay, you can also go to the journal. When you get to the journal, please make sure you read what it takes. Okay, because every journal have different um, way of preparing papers. It's very important. So don't assume that, oh, I've been publishing in this journal, so this is how I've been preparing the paper. Let me prepare the paper that way. I mean, make sure you go through the journal's policy, okay, how they want the topic to be formed. Okay, some people will tell you short and concise topic. Okay, so all those things are things you need to look out for before you send the paper to any journal. Okay, so in continuation of what I just said now, please don't send a paper to any journal if you don't understand the instruction. Okay, and most journals will give you templates. They will say, okay, use this particular template to prepare the paper. Make sure you carefully do that. Read through the instructions. Some journals will tell you this is how we want the paper to be. Some will say we don't want a personalized style. So you don't say, I did this, I said this. Some journal will tell you, no, you have to use the word this paper therefore argues that. So all these things are things you need to know. Some journals will tell you that no, we want the topic of this journal should be concise. It should be it should be a running topic. So some journals will tell you no, it's APA we want. No, some will say it's MLA we want. So some will say no, it's Chicago style. Whichever of this style it is, you have to be abreast with this information so that it will enable you to prepare your paper for publication in the journal. Okay, after preparing your paper in the journal format, it's very important that you go back to your work and cross-check for the last time to make sure everything such as bad grammar, spelling, and punctuation is eliminated. Please, it's very important. I mean, this is one of the major reasons why a lot of international journals reject papers. Most especially, this kind of thing is peculiar to authors coming from a non-speaking, a non-English speaking background. Okay, because if you are if you are going to publish a paper in an international journal which is major language is English language, please you must make sure that the paper is prepared well. Okay, if you have a senior colleague or probably an associate professor or even a senior lecturer who has been publishing in international uh, on international platform, you could call him and say, oh please, I need your help. Okay, or even if it's for you to pay somebody, an English language editor, for you to edit your work. Okay, or better still, you can register on grammarly.com. Okay, you can register on grammarly.com. You can even use the free service. Okay, it will help you edit this paper well. It will help you put all the punctuation in place, okay, so that you have an improved paper. Although I will recommend you using the paid version of Grammarly because it will read through line by line. It will help you to suggest the most appropriate words to use, okay. But even with the free version of Grammarly, you can still do that. So please make sure you go through your paper once more and make sure that yes, you are happy with yourself. Okay, I've done the. Please don't be in an hurry to send a paper out to an international journal. Make sure that the grammatical structure of the journal is well adjusted, and once you do that, you can now go ahead. Okay, also another part I'd like to talk about is plagiarism. It's very, very important you get to know this, okay? It's becoming a very big problem in academic these days. We see people commit all sorts of all manner of plagiarism in the name of writing a paper for an international audience. Okay. Now, the definition of plagiarism is to steal and pass off the ideas of words of another as one's own. Now, you need to understand that in writing of a paper, the editors, okay, understands that you've actually read through some work. So the entire phrase or the entire writing is not completely yours, okay, although you're trying to arrive as a unique thing, but you have actually read some people's work which actually have passed through some ideas, who have given you some ideas, who actually bet your unique ideas. So the editors would expect you to at least acknowledge them, okay. We don't want to see you writing papers and you writing it as if it's yours, okay. So acknowledge these people, okay. If you are taking it word for word from a particular source, please acknowledge it. Let it be known that okay, this is actually where I lifted this from, okay. And and it's depending on the style which you're using. For APA, you have to put it there in bracket. You put the last name of the author, you put the year, the book. Then, if it's actually an If it's a quotation, then you have to follow with the page number. So please, you need to understand that plagiarism is a very serious issue. Okay, don't go online, go copy somebody's work because you want to publish. It's not accepted in in, in academics, please. And also, self-plagiarism is also evidence in academic. Okay, you've written a paper on a particular thing, so you want to write again now, so you want to make it look as if it's an original idea. No, please don't do that. Okay, if you have actually written on something before, even if you are going to repeat it in another paper, please let it be known that yes, you have written something on this before. Point to the paper in which you've written something on, then tell us, okay, yeah, I have written on this, and I am going to advance it more than this, and and stuff like that. So it's very important to do, okay, in academic. Okay, so when you are done with those other things which I'll advise you, you've checked the plagiarism content of your paper. It's very important. There are websites that can help you do this online. Even if you search on Google and say, okay, free plagiarism checker website, okay, it will give you a list of websites where you can paste your work, okay, then it will run through the internet to see if there's anything of such dissimilarities. It will search it statement by statement, okay, and it should be understood that most journal wants uh, plagiarism content not more than 15 to 20%. Okay, so your work must be me. I like writing papers. Okay, so if I'm going to send a paper out for publication, I make sure that the plagiarism content is less than 10%. Okay, so just try as much as possible to do the plagiarism check. Okay, do the grammarly check. Once you're able to satisfy the conditions of the journal by going through the journal policies, how they want the paper to be formed and everything, then you can now send the paper out for publication. Some journal will want you to register on the journal website, then upload the paper. So if you do that, okay, then the journal will take it from there. The journal editor in chief or area manager will take it up from there, would go through the paper to see if the paper is worth taking for that to review. Okay, and once that is being done, okay, if the area editor thinks that, oh, this paper is good enough to go to review, we sent it out for review. Then the reviewers, two reviewers usually, will go through your paper. The name of the author, your information will be taken off. It has to be a blind review. Okay, why is a blind review? Is because they don't want to be biased. Okay, because some people could be biased. Oh, okay, uh, the author is a black person, so well, he might not write proper. All manner of things will come through because you've seen the information of the author. So usually people go through peer review, anonymous peer reviews. Okay, and why these reviews is important is because they want to see if this paper, okay, is publishable, and if it's publishable, how they can improve on the paper the best possible means. So they try to remove errors, they try to remove irrelevant data that you presented. If they want you to improve on a particular place of the paper, they will have to point it out, and so many things. So that's one of the function of the reviewers, to make sure that the quality of the work that is about to be published is actually a a good one. So once the reviewers are done with their reviews, they will send you back um, uh, a notification advising you on what next. If they reject the paper, well, that's not the end of life. Okay, you could actually go back, okay, and look through their comments. Why did they reject this paper? So you can now use your comment now to build on the paper to make a good paper. Okay, you can improve on the paper, or probably if they say no, you need to improve on this particular paper. Don't be arrogant. Okay, even if you disagree with them on one or two things, you can please carefully and respectfully reply them and tell them, oh, this is a method I use, this is a method, this is method, and this is why I use this method. Okay, and uh, and try to sort out some things with them. But if they want you to improve on any part of the paper, maybe they want you to explain a particular concept, or they want you to use a different skills, and I mean, you are learning. As long as you're in the academic, we are learning every day. So just try as much as possible to carefully do what they ask you to do so that you could come out with a very good publication. Because as far as you're writing to the international audience, okay? People from different countries will be reading your paper, okay? And they don't want to read, uh, and I'm very sure you don't want to be associated with a shabby work. You want people to read your work and give you a lot of like, recommendations, and that is why peer reviewers are very, very vital in academics. Okay, so like I said earlier on, please, when the reviewers send back a comment, please don't be hostile. I mean, don't respond in a kind of way that probably I will use the word insulting, okay? Because sometimes some of these reviewers could be hostile in their approach. They could be harsh on your paper. They will tell you, why did you use such a thing? Why are you writing such a thing? And stuff like that. Please, like I've said before, carefully respond in an appropriate manner. Okay, if you disagree with what this reviewer is saying, explain this is why this is why this is the case, this is why this. Don't forget, whoever is reviewing your paper is actually an expert in that field. So probably the person knows more than you. Okay, but at the same time, you need to understand that sometimes, yes, we understand that they can be wrong. So please, if you think that okay, maybe if if a reviewer thinks that you should use a particular method, okay, other than this method, and you think that this method you use is the best, you can give an explanation, even if for you to give some justification for it. Okay, maybe you can explain this is the latest method that has been used to do so something. Okay, please see this article, see this article, this is major reason why I use this, and you carefully argue out your point. Okay, and I believe that the journal editor in chief will look to it, and if your reasons are justified, I could give you a fair hearing. So, but if your paper is rejected, please don't reply back and say, why do you have to reject this paper? I'm going to send this paper to another. No, there's no point. Just go through the reviewer's comments and see how you can improve on the journal. I mean, on the paper in question. When you take your time to do that, you can now send the paper out to that journal or possibly another journal. But that will help you make sure that you have a good and better paper to publish. Okay, now you need to understand that reviewers and reviewing of your paper is not actually a bad phenomenon. Okay, it's actually something that you should be happy for. So you have to see positive. You have to take it with a positive mindset. So even if your paper is being rejected, okay, see it as a way of learning. See it as a way of you improving on your skill. Okay, I've listed um, some advantage of reviewing here. Okay, I say you see and learn from common mistakes. Okay, probably there's a particular way you've been writing, or maybe error, some grammatical mistakes you'd like doing. Okay, or probably there's this particular method you've been using, of which it's not is not is not a common trend. Okay, it's not a current trend, and you need to improve from it. So if your work goes through some reviewers, that is why it's always peer review. Okay, so when two people looks through your work, they will advise you on how to improve on your paper. Okay, so you can learn from common mistakes. Okay, then also you learn what the journal requires of an author. Okay, so when a journal tells you, okay, no, this is how sending a paper to us for publication, please, this is what we expect you to do, this is how you should approach this and that. So it's very important to know that yes, this reviewing will help you, okay, to meet up journal requirements. Also, you become aware of the needs for attention to details. Okay, so there are sometimes you just write as if yes, I'm in an hurry to write, so you will not take your time, okay, to go through the details. Okay, but the journal by reviewing your work will call your attention to details and say, no, please go back to so page and this and that and improve on this. And it's very important. Okay, then you appreciate the importance of abstracts. Well, like I said, if the abstract is not strong, it could lead to a very big problem. So if you have a very good abstract, it has eliminated up to 50% of problem you might face in journal publication. Yes, I dare say 50% of the problem you might face in journal publication is eliminated, because once an editor reads your abstract, he knows what you're driving at, he has seen the problem, he has seen the results, he has seen your conclusion. So if he's happy with your abstract, now he can, the way he reads your paper is going to inform him, and you know everything flows along. So please, it's very important to to make sure that your abstract is okay, your introduction is okay, and the rest of the body of your work is actually written well. Okay, so it's important to know that there is no hidden secrets, okay, um, in publishing in international journal. There is no hidden secrets at all. Okay, all you just need to do is to follow the rules and regulation. Okay, now the rules start from the fact that you need to know the process. Okay, know those things that are involved in journal publication. Okay, I've given you the structure of the paper, how the structure of the paper should be in the earlier discussion. Okay, you need to make sure that your paper goes through that structure. Also, you need to go through the author's requirements of any journal you're sending paper to. Please make sure that you meet up with the author requirements. Then also make sure that plagiarism check is done on your work. Okay, I told you you can do this online. Okay, or if you have a Grammarly software, some Grammarly software to could actually help you check this plagiarism content. But if you don't have that, you can use normal Google search for plagiarism website, like plagiarism checker website online. Okay, there are some free ones available where you can paste your papers. It will help you check the plagiarism content of your paper. Make sure that the plagiarism content of the paper is less than 15% of the overall paper. Okay, once you do that, okay, then also make sure that you do your grammar check. You can use Grammarly.com. You can use the free version of Grammarly.com. It will help you put the punctuation in, in place. It will help you check some common errors, like if you are supposed to use us instead of we. Okay, all those minor things like that that you might you might not be able to detect yourself. It will help you do that. So make sure that all these things, all these rules are actually kept. Once you have a good paper that meets up all these rules, all these sets of informations I've just given to you, then you are ready to go to publish in international journals. So I would like to thank you for um, listening to this talk. If you have any question, if you want me to help you out in one way or the other, you can send me an email at samuelbassey15@yahoo.com. That's SAMUELBASSEY15 I'll be I'll be glad to help you out, or I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. Okay, once so I would like to say thank you very much, and once again, I would like to say thank you very much um, to these talk organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my point of view. So God bless you.